We're doing our math pages, lesson 9, chapter 9, lesson 9. It's your lucky day. And we're on page 663 is where we started. We did this in class. So thank you guys for completing it with me in class. If you didn't, go ahead. Go now. Pause. One of the problems, though, I noticed when we were doing class after I stopped, because I'm always recording, is I got one of these problems wrong. Number 4. So I was on page 665. So number 4 I got wrong. I rounded 7 2/3 to 7. I don't know what I was thinking, right? Here's 1/3, 2/3. It's past the half. I should have rounded it to the next whole number after 7, which would be 8. So I should have had 8. This was still 1/4, was still 0, right? 1/4 is closest to 0. So 4 plus 0 is just going to leave me 4. So I should have had 8 taken away 4, which would be 4. So this one was wrong. All right, and then we got stopped here on the back. Right, we did this one, and then we ran out of time. So if you did this one, and then after this, I'm going to do the homework. So I'll do the homework with you. If you're like, we'll do this together, right? Remember, we're just estimating. We're rounding. We're finding abouts. We're not doing real math. We're just kind of estimating. So here's Beth. She walked 10 7/8 of a mile 1 week. She walked 2 1/4 fewer miles the following week. So she walked almost 11 miles here. She walked less this week. She walked this much less than that in the second week. So I know how much she walked on week 1. I know week 1 take away this would tell me how much she walked week 2, the second week. About how many miles did she walk the second week, right? That was the question. Round each number to the nearest whole number. Round each mixed number to the nearest whole number. So 10 7/8. I'm going to say 7/8 is almost 1. Right, when I see 8 out of 8, I know that's almost 1. If I saw 1 of an 8, I know that's almost 0. Right? I know 8 out of 8 is 1. So 7 out of 8 is almost 1. 7 out of 8 is close to 1. It's not quite 1. Right? If I gave you a candy bar and I had one little piece broken off, I only gave you 7/8 of it, you'd be like, why are you giving me this piece of a candy bar? So 10 7/8 the first week she walked. The next week she walked 2 1/4 less. Right? 1/4, when I see that 1 up on top, it's going to 0. Unless it's 1 over a half. Right? 1 over a half is pretty big. 1 over any other number makes it smaller and smaller and smaller. Right? Those are our unit fractions. 1 over 6 is small. 1 over 3 is still small. 1 over 2, I cut this in half. So this is why I'm going to round up to 1 when I cut it in half. It's the same as when I count 5. Remember when I got to 5, I round up. 4, 3, 2, 1, I go down. So this with a half, when I see a half, I'm going to round it to 1, not to 0. In the past, remember, we were rounding to 1/2, but normally I don't round to 1/2. So here's 2 1/4. Hopefully you can see 1/4 is pretty small. If you took a line, I had done it earlier, right? And 0 and 1. Here's my number line. I'm going to break it up into 4 pieces, so I'll draw 3 lines. Right, this out of 4 pieces, this is 1 out of 4 pieces. This is 2 out of 4 pieces. This is 3 out of 4 pieces. And right here at the 1 is 4 out of 4 pieces. So 1/4, I can see it's closer to 0 than 1. Right, this is what I normally look at, the 1/2. Oh, look how nice and easy that 1/2 was right above where I want to put 1/2. 2/4 is the same as 1/2. It is equivalent. I divide the top by 2 and the bottom by 2. And I get 2 divided by 2 is 1, and 4 divided by 2 is 2. So I get 1/2. Right? If we were in class, we could use our number pieces. 1/4 plus 1/4 is, oops, upside down, 1/2. It is equivalent. It's the same number. So anyway, too much talking. So 1/4, I look where the 1/2 is. If it's way less or less than the 1/2, I'm going to round to 0. If it's more than the 1/2, I'm going to round to 1. We're taking rounding to a whole new level. So 2 1/4, I'm going to round it to 2. 11 take away 2 is 9. But I have to tell him 9 what? Right? 9 miles. And we're just estimating. Oh, here's Patrick over here. Let me turn I hope the sound is loud enough. I put the sound that I'm listening to quiet, but let's see. So here's Patrick. Patrick has played guitar for 3 5/6 years. Jen has played guitar for 6 1/12 years. Estimate how many more years Jen has played guitar than Patrick. Round each number to the nearest whole number. Right? I always divide my years up into 12. Right? 1 out of 12 is 1 month. 2 out of 12 is 2 months. 3 out of 12, because there are 12 months in the year. Hopefully you guys remember this. All right, so 5/6 is just the same as 10 out of 12, right? It's my fractions. 5 out of 6, I could easily say, 5 out of 6, I could easily say is the same as 10 out of 12. I multiply times 2, so I multiply times 2. All right, but this is how long he's been playing it. 3 years and 10 out of 12 months. Jen has played 6 1/12 years, but I don't really need to know that right now because they're just asking me estimate about. But 10/12 of a year, that's almost 1 whole year. So I'm going to say Patrick has played for almost 4 years because he did 10 out of 12 months. So I'm going to say Patrick played for almost 4. Estimate how many more Jen has played guitar than Patrick. So Jen, I'm going to say he just a little over 6 months. But I need to figure out how much more. So I'm going to have to take his amount and subtract Patrick's because it's less. And I'm going to say 6 take away 4 is 2 years. 2 years more. All right, we weren't going to do the bottom problem, so I'm going to just skip them and go on to the homework. All right, so here is 3 5/8. I probably should have done these last two. You know what? I'll do these hot problems at the end of the homework. So if you want to, if you're like, I did those, I want to see how I did, if I got them right, I will do them at the end of the homework so you can check your answers, okay? So here is our homework helper, right? I always get a problem that shows me what I was doing. 3 5/8, estimating 3 5/8, take away 1 1/8. We're going to round each mixed number to the nearest whole number, right? So 3 is either going to go to 3 or 4. 1 is either going to go to 1 or 2. So 5/8 is greater than 1/2, right? I would figure 4/8 would be 1/2. I'm trying to turn this into a half to see, right? How many halves is 8? Well, I'm going to divide by 4 and divide by 4. Whatever I do to the bottom, I have to do to the top. 4 divided by 4 is 1. So 4/8 is 1/2. 5/8 is bigger. So I'm going to round my 3 5/8 up to 4. So I'm actually going to have 3 plus almost 1. Then I'm going to take away 1 1/8. 1/8 is less than half, right? I could see 1/8, 4/8 is half, so 1/8 is less than half, it's smaller. So in the case of 1 1/8, I'm going to round down, so I'm going to just go back to the 1. And 4 take away 1 is 3, bam, so that's my answer. So 3 5/8, take away 1 1/8 is about 3. I'm not doing complete problems, I'm just estimating. So here is 2 1/5. I'm going to say that's close to 2 plus 6 4/5. It's almost 5 out of 5. So I'm going to say this is close to 1. So 6 plus 1 would give me my 7. So I'm going to say this is almost 9. All right, here's 6 5/12. I want to figure out what's half of 12ths. If I have 12ths, right, I did that earlier. I want to figure out what's my half mark going to be to get a 12. So to get a 12, I'm going to divide by 6. right? 12 divided by 6 is 2. So I want to find another number that I could put here divided by 6 that would give me 1. Hopefully you guys know, right? 6 out of 12, right? Because 6 divided by 6 is 1. I was kind of doing a little backwards math to figure out how can I get 1/2 out of 12ths? Well, I know 6/12 is the same as 1/2. So 5/12 is smaller than 6/12. It's smaller than 1/2, so I'm not going to go to 7. I'm going to stay at 6. And then I'm going to take away, well, 1/12 is very small, right? It's just a little piece. So 2 plus the 0, I'd say 2. So 6 take away 2 is 4. If you need to pause it, pause it. All right, here's 11 and 8/9. So that's why I look at these, I say 9/9 is 1. So 8/9 is close to 1, so 11 I'm going to round up to 12. Plus 4 and 1/3. Even though 1/3 is one of the bigger fractions, it's still less than half. I gotta get my piece. There's 1/3, you can see, oh, it's on the black on black, so maybe you can't see. 1/3, oops, is less than 1/2. I grabbed the wrong piece, right? 1/3 is less than 1/2. So when they tell me here they have 1/3, it's less than 1/2, I'm going to 0. So 4 and the 0 is 12 plus 4 is equal to 16. All right, 7 and 1/6, right? 1/6 is definitely smaller than 1/2. So I'm going to round down to 0. Oops. Ah. 1/2 is definitely bigger than 1/6. All right, so 1/6, nope, it's not going to make it bigger. It's going to be about the same. So I'm going to say 8. Sorry, I'm going to say 7. I'm going to use my whiteout. I'm going to say, oops, I whited out my 6. I'm going to say 7. Right, I'm going to round this to 7 because 1/6 is close to 0. Take away 5 and 3/4. Right, 3/4 is almost 1 whole piece. So 3 out of 4 is almost 1 whole. It's definitely big. It's the same. It's definitely bigger than 1/2, right? Because you can see here, 2/4 is the same as 1/2. So 3/4 is going to be bigger than 1/2. It's just I can't find my other 4th piece. So 5 and 3/4, I'm going to turn that into a 6. And 7 take away 6 is easy math for you guys, right? 1. All right, here is 11/18, right? I want to figure out what is half. Well, if you know your multiplication tables, you know 9 out of 18, right? 2 times 9 equals 18. So this would be my half, and I could see 9/18 is half. 11/18 is bigger than half. So instead of going down to 0, I'm going to round this to 1. This is 1. It's not a number. It's not a whole number. It's part of a number. It's a piece. So plus, this is a whole number, 6. Right? This is a partial number. This is my whole number and my part of a number. 1 out of 10 is that part of a number. 6 plus 1 out of 10 is almost 0, so I'm going to say it's just 6. 1 plus 6 is 7. All right, 15 and 1/3. Right, 1/3 is definitely less than 1/2. Hopefully you remember that. But, right, you could see this a bunch of times till you remember it. 1/3 is less than 1/2. So instead of going up to 16, I'm going to keep this at a 15. 2 and 5/8. I'm taking away. So 5/8, right? Half, to turn my 8 into a half, I'd need 4/8 to make it its equivalent fraction, 1/2. 5/8 is bigger than 1/2, so I'm going up to the next number. The next number after 2 is 3. So I have 15 take away 3 is equal to 12. On to the back. Pause it if you need to. All right. About, right? We are still estimating. We're trying to figure out how much taller this birdhouse is than the swing set. So, right, you can see there's a little house for birds. The birds can go live there. Sometimes you put food in it. But I also have a house for kids to play in. I also have a swing set over here. So, About how much taller is the birdhouse than the swing set? Right, I'm comparing my birdhouse to my swing set. You might get tricked here a little bit and think, why did they throw this picture in there? Right, this is the swing set. This is like a playhouse, a tree house, because they're going to ask you on the next question. All right, so 14 and 9/16. So I want to compare 9/16 to 1/2. So I want to figure out how many half, what would 1/2 if I had my 16, right? How 16, right? I would divide this by 8, sorry. I would divide my 16 by 8 to get my 2. So I need to figure out what number I could put here divided by 8 that would give me 1. Right, hopefully you guys can see 8. 8 divided by 8 is 1. So my number 8/16 is my 1/2 equivalent. 9/16 is bigger than 8/16, so I'm going to round up to 1. So 14 and 9/16 I'm going to turn into 15. And how much taller is it than the swing set? Right, the swing set is 8 and 1/4. 1/4 is definitely smaller than 1/2. So I'm going to round down. Instead of 9, I'm going to go just stay at 8. So I'm going to take away 8. 15 take away 8 is 7. About how much taller is the birdhouse than the swing set? 7. Don't forget what unit of measurement or what we're counting. We're counting feet. All right, here's my next one. About how much taller is the birdhouse than the treehouse? Well, I already rounded my birdhouse to 15, right? 14 and 9/16. 8/16 is my half mark. 9/16 is bigger, so I'm going to round my birdhouse to 15. Take away my treehouse. My treehouse is 11 and 13 out of 16. Right? What's 13 out of 16? Is that more than a half, less than a half? Well, I know 8 out of 16 was my half. Right? I know 8 out of 16 was my half. So 13 out of 16 is bigger. So instead of taking away 11, I'm going to add to the next number would be 12. 11 take away 12 is 3 feet. So it is 3 feet taller than the birdhouse. All right, my next problem. Plan your solution. Find the approximate, right? I'm estimating approximate height difference between the birdhouse and the treehouse. Oh, here we go. Is it greater than or less than the approximate difference between the height between the swing set and the treehouse? Round each number to the nearest whole number. All right, so find the approximate height difference between the birdhouse and the treehouse. We already did, right? The difference between the birdhouse and the treehouse we just did. I'm just copying my same answer. And put a semicolon to separate. Now they want to know, is it greater than or less than the approximate difference in height between the swing set and the treehouse? So now I'm going to compare my swing set and my treehouse. The treehouse is more, so I will write it first. 11 and 13/16, right? We already said that was 12 feet. I'm going to take away the swing set. 8 1/4, right? We already said that's about 8. So I already did this math, right? And 12 take away 8 is 4 feet. So 4 feet take away 3 feet because I want to see what's the difference between the difference. So 4 feet take away 3 feet equals 1 foot. All right, and here is the table at the right. Use the table at the right. About, right, I'm still estimating, about how many hours did Frank ride his bike altogether? So we looked over here. Now I know, oh, this must be Frank. He wrote down his time for biking time in week 1 and week 2. In week 1, he rode 3 1/4. In week 2, he rode 2 5/6. Right, so I want to see, is this closer to 3 or to 4? Well, I see that 1/4 is less than 1/2. So 3 1/4 is closer to 3. 5/6, right? 5/6 is almost 6 out of 6. It's just one little unit fraction away from being one whole number. So 2 and 5/6, I'm going to say that's closer to 3. So about how many did he write altogether? 3 plus 3 is 6. All right, and in case you did these 2 last hot topic problems, we'll go ahead and take a look at them. All right, so here is select 2 mixed numbers whose estimated difference is 1. Justify your selection. So I'm going to pick 2 mixed numbers. Right, a mixed number is just a number with a fraction next to it. It's mixed number. It's mixed up, right? It's not sure if it's going to be a fraction. Right, I could make this into a fraction that I call improper fraction. Right, I would say 5/2 is an improper fraction. It's the same number. This is equal. But I'm looking for a mixed number. So I need 2 mixed numbers whose estimated difference is 1. All right, so I could take any 2 numbers. How about 3 and 1/4, because that's really small. And I want to take away 2 from it, because 3 take away 2 is 1. So I'll put, actually, let's put the word here. Estimate 3 and 1/4, take away, I'm giving them the problem. Take away, I want to take away 2. Right, I want to take it away 2, but I need to have 2 mixed numbers, so I just can't write 2. I could write 2 1/4, right? But how about if I write 1 and 26/27? Right, 26 out of 27 is almost 1, so this is almost 2. So 3 take away 2 equals 1. And it says to justify my answer. So I'm going to justify it by saying 3 and 1/4 is about 3. And I should put little semicolons here to separate my problems here. 3 and 1/4 is about 3. 1 and 26 out of 27 is about 2. I'm just telling them how I got my 3 take away 2 equals 1. All right, how does number sense of fractions help when estimating sums and difference? Right, so number sense lets me know that when I get to 1/2, I round up or I round down. So my number sense lets me, it's like a spidey sense, right? You're like, I feel like it should be this. It's like Spider-Man has his senses. He has to figure out what he's doing. So you're having a sense. My number, oh, I forgot the word sense. How did I do that? My number sense lets me, I forgot where I was going with my answer. My number sense lets me figure out if a fraction is closer to 0 or 1. And I'll just keep going. So I know to round up or down. And let's give them some examples. For instance, right, I'm not going to write it. I'll just say 3 and 1/6, right, this is very small, is almost 3. But 3 and 5/6, right, this is almost 4. Hopefully that helps. Happy Monday!